This presentation is about adaptive learning and gamification of learning using technology. Gamification is the idea of using game rules to increase interest in children's minds to figure out a problem. Some examples of this are Class Dojo, quizzes, Kahoot, Quizlet, and more. Adaptive learning is defined as a strategy focusing on the needs of the students within the classroom and how to effectively grow them. Some examples include small and whole group instruction, pre- and post-tests, exit slips, Lexia reteacher teaches, and more. Hung explains that gamification can be tailored for any ability level and encourages individual and team success through play and choice. Gamification in the classroom uses the elements of games to drive motivation and engagement. The learning goals for the subject are clear. Students are encouraged to use their creativity and to cooperate in groups where each student has input. Students work towards badges, experience points, or other rewards, rather than grades, after completing levels and real-world tasks. Information gained toward mastery should be the emphasis and the celebration of feedback. The cons for gamification are as follows. When teachers make play mandatory, gamification has then become rule-based, in turn resembling a regular school day. The second con deals with the competitive aspect. Some students simply are not motivated to compete, and if everything is made a competition, they will eventually lose interest. Along with competition, when students fail or lose points at a game or at school in general, they often revert to poor behavior choices or other work ethics will deteriorate. For additional information on the cons of gamification, click on the photo above to watch the video. Adaptive learning technology helps to identify gaps within a person's knowledge and provides feedback through remedial instruction for that individual. Research shows that a student learns best when their needs are focused on. It provides an objective measure of whether a student has reached mastery. Adaptive learning technology collects a student's answers and allows teachers to view strengths and weaknesses, as well as groups of students who are struggling in the same area. With adaptive learning, we see cons for both teachers and students. For students, if a student is not being taught in small group settings, they may see a regression or have a misconception about the topic being taught. On the other hand, if a student or a small group of students is being pulled specifically for instruction or reteach purposes, they can feel embarrassed or even demoralized. The biggest con for teachers is the amount of extra planning it takes to implement effective adaptive learning. Many teachers do not have the time to get all the pieces together, and when they do prepare lessons quickly, they can lack purpose and meaning. The lack of time also leads to inconsistency, which in turn results in ineffective instruction. To go along with an increased amount of planning, adaptive learning also requires teachers to create and examine exit slips or other forms of formative assessment. While assessments are important to instruction, the amount of them needed for adaptive learning lessons is demanding. In sum, most of the teacher cons to adaptive learning comes down to time and if they have enough of it. To be considered effective student use of ICT, students must use ICT directly to complete all or part of all the given learning activity. The evaluator must be able to see evidence of student ICT use either in the work product itself or in the process that led to the work product. Recommendations based on the research found include: students love gamification as a technological tool to motivate and compete while learning. Gamification has its place within the classroom, but without overuse. Adaptive learning is still in its infancy, and thus the long-term positive outcomes are not yet fully researched. Adaptive learning will take place best in small groups, however. To view a video of effective use of game-based learning, please click on the TED Talk here. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Thank you for watching.